I'm not spoiling anything. I'm not. This is spoiler free. I'm not telling you anything. There'll be a spoiler review later, but this one, I'm not spoiling anything. No. Black Adam is now out in theaters, and it stars Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as the titular comic book character Black Adam. This movie tells the story of Black Adam, who once, long time ago in the past, was given the powers of the wizards, but was eventually, subsequently put to sleep after an event took place. He awakes nowadays in present time. He discovers something very dark is going on, and he just begins to go rogue. This causes the Justice Society to go out and decide to try to confront him while other things are taking place. That's a vague synopsis which doesn't give you really anything that you haven't found out from IMDb or the trailers at this point, because this movie has a lot of twists and turns to it, and I'm not going to spoil it. However, I'm going to talk about it in my basic opinion on it. Black Adam is a mixed bag for me, because there are parts in here where I'm like, that is great. That is just freaking awesome. And there's other parts where I'm like, what are you doing? Why is this happening? The thing is, the movie shifts a lot. Its tone is really strange. Like, there are parts of the movie where it is dark. I mean, it's dark, violent, gritty, bloody, horrible, wow, whoo. Like, that kind of dark where I was like, yeah, I'm on board. And then it just goes like this comical, like, jokey, quippy kind of thing. And I was just kind of like, why are we switching tones? Well, why can't we pick a tone? Like, you can have the comedy with the dark, you know that? Or we can have the dark with the comedy. Like, you can blend those tones without completely changing the tone throughout the entire movie. So that was one part of the mixed bag for me. I think there's like a message. Look at this thing of like, we can't control, like, we think as humans we can control everything. We're trying to, and they begin to find out we can't control Black Adam. We can figure out we can't control, like the Justice Society. There's people, the Justice Society is who we can put out. Like, there's a good message. I can see the underlying theme here. Sometimes they veer off from that theme. There's like this really cool thing done with this lady and her son. They're like kind of used as something that Black Adam sees something in, to put it that way. He that was a cool connection. I like the way that was implemented. And they do a really good job with Black Adam. He's not, they were right when they said this. It's not a normal hero. He does his own thing. And that was awesome for me. Because, to mention Dwayne Johnson does a really good job here. Like, he's a surprisingly good performance here. I liked it. He goes a little Dwayne Johnson sometimes, but for the most part, he's really hitting those beats, and he came across as just brutal sometimes. Like, yeah, like the first half of the movie comes back to life. You're like, wow, there's some cool sequences. But then the movie just kind of begins to do things where you're like, this happens, and this happens. Like, this movie's like if I went up to an algorithm and said, epic anti-hero, superhero, PG-13 movie with comedy, and hit produce. This is what would happen. It's the very movie that you would think would become of this. And that's not necessarily a negative, and it's not necessarily a positive. This movie just kind of goes back and forth. I think the Justice Society was really cool. I loved Hawkman in here, most of all, and not just because I love Pierce Brosnan, but because I love the character Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate was one of my favorites. His character was awesome in here, and they got him right! They got Dr. Fate right in here, and I really love what happens to his character and how Pierce Brosnan plays him. It's really good. The other two members, they don't really seem like they need to be here. They're just kind of there, and they exist, and that's about it. This movie also takes a lot of freedom with the comics, which if you're someone like me who understands the comics, you're going to kind of be like, to some of the stuff, and some of those actually like, it's kind of a better idea. I like that a lot. So, the movie bounces back and forth a lot for me. It's got literally the definition of a MacGuffin in here, but I don't know. There's a lot going on in this movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, like I said. I'll put out a spoiler review, and that can let you know everything about it, but overall, I'd say go see it. This is a really entertaining movie and very satisfying to watch. I like it, and I actually think it's a better DC film, despite the fact it's not perfect. There's a lot to love in this. I'm going to give Black Adam a 5 out of 10. So thank you guys as always so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I'll see y'all next time.